This screencast discusses the literacy narrative, a type of memoir writing that focuses on one's experiences with reading, writing, learning, language, and other forms of literacy. There are 3 narrative techniques used in memoir: summary, scene, and musing. Summary is writing that gives the big picture. It covers a larger stretch of time with fewer words. It is the zooming out of the camera. Scene is the zooming in of the camera. Scene describes in detail a particular interaction or event. Scene invites the reader into the experience with the writer, taking her moment by moment through the experience. Scene helps the reader see, feel, hear, become invested in the reading. Memoirs, including literacy narratives, are driven by scenes. Both scene and summary writing focus on the I-then of the narrator, inviting the reader to experience past events with the writer. The musing voice represents the I-now of the narrator. This reflective, musing voice is the mark of memoir. Though the scene and the summary describe the experiences of the reader in vivid, engaging ways, it is the musing that tells the real story. Why do we remember what we remember? Every memory we hold on to has a rich reason for the keeping of the memory. The journey of figuring out the relevance and importance of our memories is the real story of the memoir, is the real story of the literacy narrative. It is not about merely recounting events, but about finding the meaning and significance of those events. The musing voice seeks the emotional truth of the experience, and the process of coming to understand the significance and the meaning is the story for both the writer and the reader. And it is this reflection that is the job of the musing voice. Let us now turn to an example of a literacy narrative written by a fall semester student. The college seed was planted in my head earlier in life. When I learned how to read, write, and do simple arithmetic earlier in life than my sisters had, I was assumed to be the child to succeed in everything that I did. After every spelling test, report card, and parent-teacher conference went well, my dreams of college felt closer. With all of this hope from everyone around me, I thought, this college thing must be for me. At the time, it was still only a word that I didn't fully understand. At the time, there were many things I didn't understand, like how a perfectly normal Friday night could take my life and flip it into something entirely different without me noticing. I was pacing the living room. I didn't know why, but I thought if my older sister Aaliyah is doing it, it must be the right thing to do while we wait. I was waiting for the phone call to blow over so we could all finally go to sleep. What time was it anyway? How could my grandmother leave me home so late for so long? Why is everybody in such a panic? So many questions put the memory of my body in a blur. I was 9 years old when my mother passed. Later in the narrative, she writes, when my younger sister began middle school, she told me how my 6th grade teacher now works as a math teacher at her school. She mentioned how he always chews gum and how unfair she thought it was, and that was the key. A simple piece of chewing gum in a past teacher's mouth sparked a light in my mind. Welcome to the top of the totem pole. This is your last year at this school, and I am going to prepare you for big bad middle school. He was the biggest man with one of the biggest voices I ever heard. Hey, there is no gum in school. Naturally, the class clown had to challenge the teacher on the first day. Mr. Haglund said something I would never forget. You can chew gum in my classroom when you have a college degree. That was it. That was my goal. That's when I decided to go back to school. Going back wasn't easy. As a reader, I'm interested in hearing the rest of this story. It intrigues me. I connect with it. This story matters.